You're looking at a single net haul weighing over 3,000 tons of fish lifted in one pull. Not over a week, not over a day, one pull. A single vessel out here can catch enough seafood to feed over 100,000 people in just 24 hours. And this is happening every day. In one of the harshest oceans on Earth, fleets like this are pulling in up to 13,700 tons of seafood daily. That's not fishing, that's extraction. Steel cables tighten, hydraulics scream, and from beneath freezing black water, millions of pounds of living biomass rise toward the surface. What you're seeing is pollock, one of the most consumed fish on the planet. But out here, they don't come up one by one. They come up all at once. A moving wall of silver, dense, heavy, unstoppable, pouring onto the deck like a living avalanche. Men shout over the wind. Keep the tension steady, watch the rail, bring it up, slow. Because one mistake here, one snapped cable, one misstep on a wet deck, and the ocean doesn't give second chances. This isn't a story about fish, it's about scale. It's about machines so powerful they can sweep entire ecosystems in a single pass. Floating factories that don't just catch seafood, they process it, freeze it, and ship it before they ever touch land. Out here, the line between nature and industry disappears, and what replaces it is something far bigger. The scale of the industry. This isn't just an ocean full of fish, it's a living gold mine. Every year, in these freezing waters, between 3 to 5 million tons of seafood are pulled from the sea. That's millions of tons from a place most people will never see. A single vessel out here can harvest anywhere from 300 to 1,000 tons every day. And it's not alone. Hundreds of industrial ships move across this region in coordinated sweeps, each one a floating factory, each one operating around the clock. At the center of it all is one species, pollock. It doesn't look like much, but it makes up nearly 40% of the world's white fish supply. If you've ever eaten fish sticks, imitation crab, or fast food fillets, you've probably eaten this fish. Now scale that up. What these fleets pull in every single day is the equivalent of loading more than 1,000 fully packed semi-trucks with seafood and sending them out across the world. And a single net haul? It's not just a catch. It's like dragging an entire underwater city, dense, alive, and moving straight onto the deck. Thousands turn into millions, and in minutes, they're no longer part of the ocean. They're part of a system built for one thing: maximum volume, maximum speed, maximum efficiency. Out here, scale isn't impressive, it's overwhelming. From sonar to factory, how a single haul happens. A single haul starts with something you can't see, a signal, deep below the surface. At 40 to 200 meters down, sonar scans the dark water, sending out pulses, reading echoes, mapping movement in real time. And then it hits, a dense mass. Not dozens, not hundreds, millions of fish, packed tight, moving as one. On the screen, it looks like a cloud. Down below, it's a living wall. The captain doesn't hesitate. Target confirmed. The net goes in. It stretches out behind the vessel, over a kilometer long, opening wide beneath the surface like a moving stadium. Everything in its path gets swallowed. There's no chase, no precision, just scale. Then comes the hardest part, the pull. Steel cables tighten under hundreds of tons of force. The winch roars to life. The entire vessel strains against the weight below. Out here, this is where things go wrong. One snap, one failure, and a cable under that kind of tension can cut through steel or a human body. The deck is wet. The air is freezing. Waves slam against the hull. Keep it steady. Watch the lines. because once it starts coming up, there's no stopping it. And then it breaks the surface, a surge of silver. Fish spill over the sides, pouring onto the deck like a living waterfall. Millions of bodies, flashing, thrashing, sliding, covering every inch of steel. For a moment, the ocean is on the ship. But there's no pause, no celebration, because the clock is already ticking. Within 30 minutes, every fish needs to be processed or it loses value. Temperature drops to minus 30 degrees Celsius. The system kicks in. Conveyors start moving. Sorting lines separate species and size. Blades cut with mechanical precision. Waste is stripped. Fillets are cleaned, packaged, frozen, all in one continuous flow. No wasted motion, no wasted time. Because this isn't just a fishing vessel. It's a factory, floating in the middle of nowhere, capable of processing hundreds of tons every hour, without ever returning to shore. From sonar ping to frozen product, everything happens here, at sea, in one uninterrupted chain. Out here, a single haul isn't just a catch, it's a system in motion, fast, relentless, and built to turn life into product. The machine at sea. This ship is not a fishing boat. It's a factory, floating in one of the most hostile environments on Earth. From the outside, it looks like a vessel, but step inside and it feels closer to an industrial plant. Steel corridors, endless motion, a system that never stops. At 100 to 150 meters long, this ship is built for one purpose: process everything as fast as possible. The moment fish hit the deck, they don't sit, they move. Onto conveyor belts that never pause, carrying thousands of fish every minute through a tightly controlled system. Sorting, cutting, cleaning, every step timed, every second optimized. Blades move with mechanical precision. Some are guided by human hands, others by automated systems designed to repeat the same motion thousands of times an hour. Heads removed, fillet separated, waste stripped away. Nothing wasted, everything measured. Then comes the cold. Flash freezers drop temperatures to minus 30 degrees Celsius in minutes, locking in freshness before the fish ever leaves the ship. It happens so fast, the product you see in a grocery store may have been frozen within half an hour of leaving the ocean. Below deck, the operation expands. Storage holds stack up with frozen blocks, each one part of a global supply chain. Above, the lines keep moving. Below, the inventory keeps growing. At full capacity, a single ship like this can process between 200 and 500 tons of fish every day. That's not fishing, that's manufacturing. Imagine an Amazon warehouse, but instead of boxes, it's filled with raw, living catch moving non-stop through a system that never sleeps. Day or night, storm or calm, this machine keeps running. Because out here, efficiency isn't optional, it's survival. The longer the fish sits, the more value is lost. So everything is designed to eliminate time, to remove delay, to turn the ocean's output into finished product in one continuous flow. No ports, no pauses, no reset, just a floating factory, converting the wild into something packaged, frozen, and ready for the world. From ocean to billions, the market behind the catch. A single fish, small, ordinary, easy to overlook, can travel through 5 different countries before it ever reaches your plate. Out here, it starts as pollock, pulled from freezing water, processed within minutes, frozen solid at sea. From there, it begins a global journey, shipped across oceans, transferred between ports, sent into massive processing plants where it's transformed again into something familiar. Fish sticks, fast food fillets, imitation crab. Products you've seen 100 times without ever thinking about where they began. At the source, raw pollock sells for around $1 to $2 per kilogram. Cheap, abundant, replaceable. But once it's processed, packaged, branded, that same fish can sell for $5 to $10 per kilogram, sometimes more. Not because it changed, but because the system around it did. Multiply that by millions of tons every year, and you're looking at an industry worth billions of dollars annually. Not millions, billions. And every step in that chain adds value. Ocean, ship, factory, distribution, retail. A continuous pipeline moving product from one end of the world to the other. What started as a living organism in the cold depths of the ocean becomes a standardized item on a supermarket shelf. Clean, uniform, packaged, ready to be picked up without a second thought. Because by the time it reaches you, the story is gone. No waves, no danger, no scale. Just a product. Priced, processed, and part of a system that turns the unpredictable wild into something predictable, repeatable, and incredibly profitable. The human cost. A fish can die in a second, but out here, one mistake on deck can cost you your life just as fast. Waves rise to 10, sometimes 15 meters high, walls of water slamming into steel. The deck tilts, the floor disappears under your feet. Everything moves except the work, because the work never stops. Crew members push through shifts that stretch up to 20 hours a day. No steady ground, no stable horizon. Just cold, noise, and constant motion. You don't walk out here, you balance. Every step is like walking a tightrope in the middle of a storm. And the danger is always 1 second away. A loose cable, a sudden wave, a moment of distraction. Legs get crushed, bones break, men get thrown across the deck, or worse, overboard. Because the most dangerous thing on this ship isn't the ocean, it's the equipment. Steel cables under extreme tension, strong enough to drag hundreds of tons, become lethal in an instant. If one snaps, it doesn't just recoil, it whips. Fast enough to cut through metal, fast enough to cut through you. There are stories out here, the kind that don't make it back to shore. A crew member caught in a line, pulled in before anyone can react, gone in less than 30 seconds. No time to stop the system, no time to save him, just gone. And still the work continues, because it has to. The nets are full, the clock is ticking, the system doesn't wait. Out here, every person on deck knows the risk. They feel it in every step, every pull, every wave that crashes over the rail. Because this isn't just a job. It's one of the most dangerous environments on Earth, where the margin for error is zero, and survival depends on focus, timing, and a little bit of luck. The other side of the story. But the ocean isn't infinite. For all the scale, all the technology, all the efficiency, there's a limit, and we're getting closer to it. Year after year, these fleets become more advanced. Better sonar, stronger nets, faster processing. They find fish quicker, catch more in less time, waste almost nothing. On paper, it's the perfect system, but beneath the surface, something is changing. Fish stocks are under pressure. Some populations are shrinking. Others are struggling to recover at the same pace they're being harvested. And scientists have been warning about it for years. Because the more efficient we become, the faster we remove what took nature decades to build. Entire schools can be cleared in a single pass. Migration patterns disrupting, ecosystems pushed out of balance. It's a paradox. The system works so well that it risks breaking the very resource it depends on. There are moments now when the nets come up lighter, when the sonar shows less, when the same routes don't produce the same results. And that raises a question no machine can answer. What happens when the ocean stops keeping up? Because out here, for all its power, for all its scale, this entire operation still relies on one thing: that the fish will always be there. And one day, they might not be. Clapperboard, 2330 to 2430. The question: you're eating fish, but do you know where it really came from? Not the label, not the brand, the journey. From freezing black water, to steel decks, to machines that never stop moving. From something alive to something packaged, all in a matter of hours. So what is this? A breakthrough in human efficiency? A system so advanced it can feed millions every single day? Or is it something else? A scale of extraction so powerful it's outpacing the very ocean it depends on? Because both things can be true, and that's the part no one agrees on. This isn't just about fish. It's about how far we've pushed into the natural world and how much we take when we get there. Out here, entire ecosystems can be lifted out of the water in a single motion, not seen, not understood, just processed. This is what it looks like when humanity doesn't just fish, but begins to harvest an entire ocean.